Smuggling has existed for as long as borders themselves, but in the modern world, it has transformed into something far more vast, sophisticated, and economically powerful than most people realize, creating a hidden financial universe that operates beside the legal economy and sometimes grows so large that it challenges the authority of entire nations. What once began with small groups quietly transporting goods across rivers, mountains, and forests has evolved into massive underground industries that move billions of dollars worth of products every year across Europe and the United States. These smuggling networks are not disorganized or chaotic. They operate like multinational corporations with supply chains, logistics departments, financial systems, international partners, transportation specialists, money launderers, and even enforcement units that function much like private armies. Governments may control the official economy, but smugglers have mastered the unofficial one, building parallel economic systems that are efficient, profitable, and extremely difficult to eliminate. According to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, more than $150 billion worth of illegal goods enter or leave the United States every single year, and this is only what authorities can detect. Experts believe the real number could be double or triple, because for every shipment seized, several more slip through undetected, carried by small boats, drones, hidden compartments, tunnels, corrupt officials, forged documents, or encrypted digital coordination. Europe faces a similar reality, with the European Commission estimating that nearly 15% of the entire European economy operates in the shadows, outside formal taxation and regulation. Some European countries, especially in Southern and Eastern Europe, have underground economies so large that they rival the power of legal industries, draining billions in tax revenue and funding organized crime networks that stretch from the Balkans to Western Europe. Cigarette smuggling alone costs the European Union more than $10 billion each year, fueled by massive price differences between countries. A pack of cigarettes may cost the equivalent of $10 in France, but only $3 in countries like Belarus or parts of Eastern Europe, creating irresistible opportunities for criminal groups that move millions of cigarettes across borders every week. But smuggling extends far beyond tobacco. It includes counterfeit luxury goods, illegal weapons, narcotics, stolen cars, endangered wildlife products, fake pharmaceuticals, untaxed fuel, and even human beings, all move through invisible supply chains that operate with ruthless efficiency. In both the U.S. and Europe, smuggling thrives for three main reasons: demand, geography, and corruption, supported by a hidden financial architecture that allows billions of dollars to move internationally without ever touching a regulated bank. Demand is the first and most powerful driver of smuggling. Whenever a government bans a product, limits access, or raises taxes, demand for the restricted item does not disappear. It simply shifts to the black market. This phenomenon is one of the oldest patterns in economic history. During Prohibition in the United States, when alcohol was made illegal from 1920 to 1933, Americans did not stop drinking. Instead, more than 200,000 illegal bars, called speakeasies, opened across the country, supplied by bootleggers who earned fortunes smuggling alcohol from Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean, and rural distilleries. Organized crime flourished because government policy created an economic opportunity. The same pattern continues today. In New York City, where cigarette taxes are extremely high, a single pack can cost more than $15. In low-tax states like Virginia or North Carolina, the same pack costs a fraction of that amount. Criminal networks exploit this difference by buying thousands of cartons in low-tax states and transporting them illegally into high-tax states, earning millions in profits. One smuggling ring taken down in the early 2000s earned more than $50 million in 2 years by exploiting state tax differences. In Europe, the same dynamic exists. High taxes on tobacco in France, the UK, and Scandinavia have created enormous smuggling networks It moves cigarettes across Eastern Europe and into the EU. Whether the product is alcohol, cigarettes, fuel, pharmaceuticals, or banned chemicals, demand always finds a way to bypass legal restrictions. And smugglers are the suppliers who step in to meet that demand. Geography is the second pillar of smuggling. Borders create different regulations, different prices, and different levels of enforcement, which means opportunity for anyone willing to take risks. Europe, with dozens of countries packed tightly together, is a smuggler's paradise. A product purchased cheaply in one country can be sold at a high profit just a few hours away. This is especially true in the Balkans, where cigarette prices, fuel taxes, and alcohol regulations vary dramatically from one border to the next. Smuggling routes run from Ukraine, Belarus, Moldova, and the Balkans into Western Europe, using forests, rivers, highways, trucks, ferries, corrupt border officers, and hidden compartments. But smuggling is not limited to cigarettes. Fuel smuggling is enormous in Italy, Greece, Turkey, and Spain. When fuel taxes rise, criminal groups buy fuel in low-tax regions, mix it to disguise its origin, forge import documents, and sell it at full price. Italian authorities estimate that at one point nearly 10% of gas stations were selling illegal or adulterated fuel supplied by criminal networks such as the Sicilian Mafia and the Camorra. Geography also fuels smuggling in the United States. The border with Mexico offers thousands of miles of terrain desert, mountains, river crossings, urban areas that smugglers exploit using everything from tunnels and drones to modified vehicles and human couriers. Cartels operate with extreme sophistication, studying border patrol patterns, using surveillance technology, bribing officials, and diversifying their routes. Their distribution networks inside the United States are equally advanced, allowing narcotics, weapons, and cash to move across the country with remarkable efficiency. Corruption is the third major pillar of parallel economies. No large-scale smuggling network can function without insiders who look the other way. Corruption allows illegal shipments to pass through border checkpoints, ports, and airports without inspection. In Europe, the European Anti-Fraud Office has found that corruption plays a role in nearly half of all large smuggling cases. In countries like Bulgaria, Romania, and parts of the Balkans, corruption is so embedded that smuggling networks sometimes operate in partnership with officials who receive regular payments or a share of the profits. In the United States, dozens of customs and border protection officers have been arrested over the years for helping smugglers move drugs, weapons, and bulk cash across the border. A single compromised official can enable an entire smuggling route to remain undetected for years. Corruption also extends to shipping companies, trucking firms, port workers, airport staff, and even financial institutions that knowingly or unknowingly facilitate illegal transactions. The financial backbone of smuggling is the underground banking system, which allows billions of dollars to move internationally without detection. One of the most powerful of these systems is hawala, a centuries-old method of transferring money without physically moving it. A person gives money to a hawala broker in one country, and another broker in another country gives the equivalent amount to the recipient. No bank accounts, no digital trail, no paperwork. Europol and the FBI estimate that tens of billions of dollars move through informal value transfer systems every year. Smugglers also use cryptocurrency, shell companies, fake invoices, offshore accounts, and online gambling platforms to hide and move their money. The United Nations estimates that up to $2 trillion are laundered globally each year, representing nearly 5% of the world's GDP, and a significant portion of this money comes from smuggling activities. Some criminal organizations even create entire shadow banking departments with accountants, lawyers, and financial specialists who manage the flow of illegal money with the same precision as legitimate global banks. Examples of modern smuggling show how powerful parallel economies have become. In Europe, more than 30 billion illegal cigarettes are consumed every year. Some are genuine cigarettes diverted from legal production lines. Others are counterfeits manufactured in hidden factories. In the United States, cigarette smuggling finances everything from drug trafficking to terrorism. Fuel smuggling drains billions from government budgets. Counterfeit goods account for hundreds of billions in global trade. Human smuggling networks move tens of thousands of people across Africa, the Middle East, and Europe every year, generating billions in profits. Gold smuggling has exploded worldwide because gold is easy to hide, easy to melt, and nearly impossible to trace once it has been processed. Criminal organizations smuggle gold from Africa and South America into Dubai, Europe, and the U.S., laundering dirty money into clean, high-value assets. Technology has supercharged the smuggling economy. Smugglers use drones to scout terrain, GPS trackers to monitor shipments, encrypted apps to coordinate cross-border movements, and cryptocurrencies to move money undetected. They use dark web marketplaces to sell illegal goods anonymously, and 3D printed containers to hide products in vehicles. As governments increase surveillance, smugglers adopt new methods. It is an arms race between regulatory power and criminal innovation. What makes smuggling so difficult to eliminate is that it fills economic gaps. When people cannot afford something legally, they buy it illegally. When governments restrict supply, smuggling networks expand supply. When border security tightens in one location, smugglers adapt or find a new route. In many poor regions, smuggling is not just crime, it is a source of jobs, income, and survival. Parallel economies become lifelines for entire communities. In some places, smugglers act as alternative governments, providing protection, loans, employment, and stability when the state fails to do so. Ultimately, smuggling thrives because it is capitalism without regulation. It uses the same principles of supply and demand, risk and reward, efficiency and innovation that drive the legal economy. The difference is simply legality. As long as governments impose rules, bans, or high taxes, there will always be opportunities for those who can bypass them. Smuggling networks have evolved into global economic systems that impact national security, global finance, and everyday life. They are invisible but powerful, hidden yet influential, illegal yet essential to millions of people worldwide. To understand the true global economy, one must understand the hidden one, because the official world you see is only half the story. The rest is moving silently in the shadows. Thank you for watching Money Through Ages. If this deep look into the hidden world of smuggling and parallel economies opened your eyes, make sure you like the video, share it with someone who loves financial history. Subscribe for more powerful stories about how money shapes our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember that the world you see is only one side of the story. The other side is always hidden beneath the surface.